All right, let's see. I believe we are live. I know it's a little windy out here, guys. Hopefully, it's not too distracting with the earbuds. Hopefully, they're doing a good job cutting down some of that wind. I want to come live. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the housing market, interest rates, home values, what we're seeing right now in the Dallas, Texas market, what the forecasts are heading into 2024. Some great insights for whether you're a home buyer or home sellers. But I wanted to kind of peel back the curtain a little bit and just talk to you guys about what we're actually seeing in the market. So many times the real estate market is shared at a national level, and there's some bias behind it. Most of the times it's related to trying to get the most amount of clicks or views. And if you know anything about marketing, one of the best ways to do that is to take a really negative, skies falling type approach to scare people, because that gets people to click on your links and watch your videos. So I always like to share with people just the truth and the reality of what I'm actually seeing as a seasoned 20-year real estate agent, what I'm seeing in our local Dallas Fort Worth market. So let's kind of jump right in. Let's just talk about it. Interest rates last week, for the first time in several weeks, came down a little bit back into the sevens. They were up over 8%. So we saw almost a 40 basis points is what they call it. I know that's industry lingo, but basically four tenths of a percent they dropped. And they dropped in about a day, I think it was Thursday or Friday. And in part, that's because, the Federal Reserve came out, they held their rate. They did not increase, which, by the way, everybody knew they were going to do that. That was already worked into the financial markets. So no surprise there. What came out was some subpar economic data as far as employment numbers. And when they were negative, which is actually ridiculous, right? Bad data came out, but that was good for the market. Why is that? Well, if you know anything about the Federal Reserve and why they've been increasing that overnight benchmark rate, they've been doing that to cause a slowdown in the market, and they've been doing it intentionally. Jerome Powell, head of the Fed, he's been on many interviews. He was in front of Congress and said, yeah, if we caused a recession, that would be a good thing. If we caused people to stop hiring, we saw some job loss, that would be a good thing. That would mean the economy was cooling down, and that cooling down of the economy would stop inflation, right? People would stop spending money, causing the inflation to go down. So it's crazy that bad economic news causes interest rates to go down. So it's just really weird, but that's the truth. And if you want to know how to gauge what's happening with the interest rate market, you want to look at the 10-year Treasury bond. Most people aren't aware that the Federal Reserve, that overnight benchmark rate that they're talking about, guys, that doesn't impact interest rates for real estate. Real estate rates are 30-year rates, right? They're amortized at 30 years. So they use a 10-year Treasury bond as kind of their gauge. So we saw that drop, rates came down, which is good for everybody. 8% interest rates really do stall down the housing market. It makes affordability just kind of out of touch for most people. So we do want to see rates get below 7. I think that's going to be the key, is if we can get back down into the 6s, I think that's really good for real estate. I'll be honest with you, I am one of those people who do not want to see interest rates go way low. People are saying, you're in real estate, that's great for you, everybody buys. Yeah, but what happens is, when first of all, there's no homes on the market. Inventory is extremely low. We're going to sell nationally. We're on average to be at about 3.9 million homes. 2 years ago, guys, 7 million homes were sold. So we're down about 15% year to date in the number of home closings. So there's not a lot of sales, and in part because there's not a lot of inventory. 50-60% of all home owners have interest rates under 4%, So they're probably not going to be looking to put their home on the market and give up a sub 4% interest rate for a 7 or 8% interest rate. So they're kind of locked in. The people who are selling are mostly people who have interest rates above 4%, or they are having some type of, um, you know, they're at a time in their life where there's a life changing event. Maybe they're getting married, they're downsizing, they're upsizing, empty nesters, added a new child to the family. They need to relocate out of the area for medical purposes or be closer to family or be closer to a new job. So, because there's a lot fewer of those people, that's why we're seeing inventory stay low. And even with interest rates at 8%, yes, that's taken 30%, 40% of the buyer pool and kind of put them on the sidelines. So you would think, okay, if that many few buyers are gone, that's going to slow down the market. Well, that just should show you how few homes are actually available, that even with a shrunken down buyer pool, we still don't have enough homes. And that's what's keeping home values elevated. And in some areas, we're still seeing year over year price appreciation. I know here in the Frisco market, I specialize in what I call the North Dallas real estate market. So Plano, Frisco, Prosper, Salina, McKinney, Allen, Little Elm, those are my areas. That's where I do all my business. We're still seeing year over year price appreciation in those markets because the buyer demand moving in is still far surpassing the limited inventory that we have on the market. So we're going to continue to see that. So my forecast for 2024 is we're probably still going to see some real constraints in the number of homes on the market. That constraint in the number of homes on the market is going to keep home values elevated, and we're going to continue to see some price appreciation in 2024. The biggest challenge or change, let me say that correctly, the biggest change that people need to get used to is we are going to see home value appreciation in single digits, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5%, which again is much more in alignment to what a normal real estate market is. Okay, guys, if you go back 100 years in real estate, 3.5 to 4% year over year home value growth is normal. Now we've come past the last few years where we've seen 12%, 15%, 23.5% year over year price growth. So the rate at which home values are increasing is going to slow down to normal, but we're still going to see price appreciation. So home ownership is still a very smart decision for the long term. Now, if you're buying a home with intentions of selling it in 1, 2, 3 years, well, you take on that risk, right? Nobody's got a crystal ball. But if you're getting into it saying my intentions are 7, 8, 9, 10 years, well, then that's a pretty safe or safer bet because you're going to have the longevity of the market, just like the stock market. There are going to be years where it's up, years where it's down, but really what depends is what did you buy in at and where's the market value at the time and when you're ready to sell. And if you're going to be in it for 10 years, you're probably going to do very, very, very well. So if you're worried about home values sliding down, that wouldn't be my worry. If you're kind of on the fence saying, I don't want to buy now because I think interest rates are going to come down. Well, we think rates are going to come down as well, but probably not a whole bunch. What I'm telling the smartest home buyers to do right now. So if you're thinking about buying, here's where the smart play is. Go find your home now. Why? Because Q4 of each year, and this is a seasonal repeatable trend. So this is really key insights here. If you look at the Q4 and you go year over year and you look at the last 3 to 4 years, we have a seasonal dip, okay? Starting in October, November, December, January, the market slows down. It makes sense, right? It's the holiday season, the weather cools down. So we see a seasonal drop in the market. That seasonal drop creates a huge opportunity in the market right now because there's fewer buyers, there's fewer sellers. Homes take a little bit longer to sell on the market. Sellers usually negotiate more the list price to sales price ratio, that number changes. So there's more buying opportunity in the fourth quarter. So let's say you could find a perfect home. You can afford it with today's interest rates. It is November. That home's been on the market 40 days. You could probably come in below asking. You could probably negotiate some seller paid closing costs, which is huge. If you could get the seller to maybe do a interest rate buy down, maybe you can get a $6,000 or $7,000 seller credit, which buys down your interest rate for 2 years. Now you're not even worried about today's interest rates because you're getting a huge discount on those rates for the first 2 years. That's the opportunity. So if you can find the home today, you can negotiate a better price today, you can get secondary contingencies like interest rate buy downs, closing cost credits, home warranties, seller paid title policies. You could do all of that in this market. Then the smart play is be on the lookout for 12 to 18 months when interest rates come back down to normal and then refinance it out. So you secured your home, you secured it at a better deal because of the seasonality, and you do a refinance later, securing a better overall affordability. Now you don't really care if home values continue to go up. You're not missing out. You're gaining all that appreciation, and you have the affordability. Now let me paint you the picture because this has happened to home buyers for the last 3 years. I have people in my database for 3 years now. Alex, I'm waiting for home values to go down. Alex, I'm waiting for interest rates to go down. These poor people have missed out on 25% appreciation, and interest rates haven't gone down, and they've been paying rent $2,500, $3,500, $4,500 a year for 3 years. Guys, even if home values came back 10%, which they won't, they've given up 25% price appreciation to save 10%. Think about how crazy that is. So if you're a smart home buyer, you would be active in today's market. You'd be hunting for the deal. You'd be writing more aggressive offers in your favor. You'd be negotiating an interest rate buy down, a 2 year or even a 3 year interest rate buy down. You fully expect to be refinancing that deal out to get some more affordability because all the projections are home value appreciation for the next 3 to 4 years across the board. So you're putting yourself in the best wealth building and financial long-term situation by doing that now. Now, if you're a seller, what do you do? Well, home values are still phenomenal right now. And with the lack of inventory in the market, you're still getting near top dollar value for your home. So you may say, well, when's the best time? When I can answer that question to you. As a seller, your best time is going to start in the middle of February. So if I'm a home seller and I'm trying to plan when do I want to put my home on the market, I want to be on the market middle of February, March, April. Okay. Once you get into May and June, the reason why I say May and June, still 2 great months, by the way. The reason I would do it sooner than then is because everybody goes April, May, June because school gets out. Everybody puts their home on the market, tries to get that home sold and settled into a new home before home goes on the market. So as a seller, you actually have increased competition, which gives buyers more flexibility. So like that sweet spot is February, March, April, getting your home on the market, getting it sold before the rush of all the other sellers come on the market. But really middle of February to end June are great times for sellers and buyers because there's always opportunity. And then come July, you start to see the market flatline July, August. September, October, it starts to slow a little bit, but nothing crazy. And then once you hit the November, December, January, that's that fourth quarter seasonality dip. It happens every single year. Here's the crazy part. There's still massive opportunities in both sides of the market. You just got to put together the best home buying and selling strategy for you. And that's what we're here to do is sit down with you, talk about your needs, your wants, your time frame, your what's the next step for you. And once we have a clear of what your goals are and where you are, Now we can look at the seasonality patterns. We can look at the forecast of interest rates. We can look at the forecast of home value appreciation and help you put together a strategy and a plan to take advantage of the market. One of the things we're actually doing right now for our home buyers, which is awesome, I must say, the only ones I know that are doing this is if you close on a house before the end of the year, December 31st, we are doing a 1 year interest rate buy down. We're going to take 1% off your interest rate for the first year's payment on us. You do not pay a penny for that. And that is something we're investing to make it even more affordable. Why are we doing that? Number one, you get that relief for the first year on your payment. Number two is we feel really confident that we're going to see that interest rate move next year, giving you the long-term ability to refinance that out. But we want to get you that savings today. So that's why we're doing a 1% 1 year interest rate buy down for all of our buyers who buy a home through December 31st of this year. You're going to save on that monthly payment now, be able to refinance out. Now, sellers, guess what? If you work with me and we sell your home, that is a program we can offer exclusively for your home, bringing more buyers to the table, making your home more desirable, and a reason why buyers would want to write an offer on your home versus the competition in your market. Another awesome strategy in how we're helping our sellers sell their home for top dollar in today's market. So if you're thinking about buying, you're thinking about selling, leverage us. Let me be a resource. Let's jump on a 15 or 20-minute Zoom call. Let me get to learn your situation. Let me educate you about the market and the opportunities, and then put together a strategy and plan, whether it be the end of 2023 or 2024 or even 2025, whatever your plan and your vision is. Let us help put that together. All my contact information will be below this video. If you're a first time listening to us and what we do, we are experts in the North Dallas market. We specialize in new construction, resale, buyers, and sellers. Go ahead and reach out, subscribe to our channel. See, we got getting close to home here, so the internet is picking up on us. But go ahead, subscribe to the channel, like today's video, leave a comment. Let me know, was this information we shared with you on interest rate projections, home value projections, the kind of the landscape of the real estate market here in Dallas and Fort Worth. If this information was helpful today, leave a comment. Let me know. We'd love to earn your business and be your trusted real estate advisors here in the North Dallas real estate market. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next YouTube live. Take care, guys.